The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Happy Honda Days are back for the most wonderful time of the year at Team Honda. The savings are high on every new Honda. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, you'll get top value for your trade. Happy Honda Days from Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
As we start today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show, here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your part of the world. Since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you roughly some 24 hours ago. We start today's show talking about the ramifications of irresponsible behavior as it relates to social media. In recent memory, we've seen all sorts of horrific injuries, deaths occur when people think it's a good idea to follow a, quote, challenge that they've seen on social media. Most recently, this past weekend in Shreveport, Louisiana, a Louisiana man found himself in a life-threatening situation and will be dealing with the ramifications of this for quite some time. According to police, this man may well have been following a popular challenge on the social media platform TikTok, where you take a flammable liquid, write a message on a mirror, and then set it on fire. Apparently, he either forgot or didn't think to move the flammable liquid away from the mirror, drops into the container, and next thing you know, he's being rushed to the hospital with third-degree burns over, quote, most of his body. In recent memory, in December, 12-year-old girl in Connecticut burned while attempting another TikTok challenge. In May, a similar TikTok challenge left a 13-year-old girl in Portland with serious burns, and she's fighting for her life. There is an old adage that says just because you can do something does not necessarily mean it's a good idea to do something. As parents, the safety of our kids is our primary importance. And the fact of the matter is, if you have kids, and in this particular instance, the gentleman in Shreveport is not a kid, but you'll draw a direct correlation between the two shortly. It is your responsibility to know what your kids are doing in their online activities, and more important, that you give them better examples than what they get on social media. It is something that was so easily avoidable. And I guess I have to understand it's a different day. We as Americans have this insatiable appetite to be, quote, accepted. Have you tried such and such? No. Oh man, you square, whatever. Next thing you know, you're doing something stupid and you're fighting for your life. Just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. Now, what may be saddest of all in this is that just a little bit of common sense could save people's lives. You know, it's one thing to see people on a cell phone video laughing it up, doing dangerous things. But with just a little bit of common sense, you would say, you know what? This could go horribly wrong in the blink of an eye. I'm sure this day, if you could ask the gentleman in Shreveport, he would agree. Talk to your kids, parents. And more important, you set the example, not some idiot on TikTok, not some know-nothing on Twitter, not some numbskull on Facebook. You set the example. You'd be surprised how far it can take your kids and what kind of benefits they can reap from it. Now, that being said, there is also something else for us to be concerned about here in our part of God's creation. It is the time of year where we get these wild fluctuations in temperatures. Wake up one day, got a high of 75, almost 80 degrees. Next day, you're below freezing. And as a result, we are in that time of year where fire potential is elevated. Sadly, just this week, in the great city of Opelousas, over in St. Landry Parish, house fire killing 2 preteen boys. It is, I guess in the grand scheme of things, the hectic pace of life, COVID-19, all the other things going on, we many times fail to pay attention to the things that we should. Something as simple as a smoke detector, a carbon monoxide detector. Things can actually save a life. And unfortunately, many of us don't give a second thought to these things until it happens. Cannot stress enough, particularly when we witness tragic situations like this, how important it is that you have ahead of time an escape plan, that you have ahead of time working smoke detectors, that you have ahead of time a plan on how everyone can escape the house alive. I can't begin to imagine, particularly, not that, it wouldn't be any other time of year, but particularly this time of year, the quote, holiday season, to lose 2 preteens to something that a simple smoke detector may have saved their lives. It's something that in the grand scheme of things we would like to think is completely avoidable. And listen, y'all, I get it. I understand. Clarence, with everything I got going on in my life, you're going to have to understand if I forgot to change the battery in the smoke detector, when the year changed over. I've just been so busy. I got all this other stuff going on. I'm trying to monitor my child's online activities to be sure they don't do something stupid on TikTok. I get it. But at the end of the day, y'all, these kids did not ask to come here. You brought them here. And as a result, you have a responsibility to ensure their safety. Pure and simple. There are all sorts of things in this marvelous existence that we refer to as life that are completely outside of our control. Those things, not a whole lot you can do about them. Pray on it, put it in the hands of a higher power, hope for the best, prepare for the worst, do everything within your power to deal with it. But there are those things that fall outside of that arena. This was not one of them, y'all. It's that time of year. Space heaters, candles, other ways of heating your home, the oven, one of the worst out there. We do it. We manage to come away unscathed a couple of times. We figure, okay, I'm good. Unfortunately, all it takes is once. And you end up with a tragedy that people will remember for a long time. First break. We're a little short. Let's go ahead and get this one out of the way, because when we come back, we're going to talk about a national emergency / tragedy / national security issue, somewhat related to COVID, but maybe even more scary. We'll talk about that when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. In this segment, want to talk with you guys and girls about something that is a national tragedy, a national disgrace, and a national security issue, all rolled into one. This week, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention acknowledged what we pretty much already knew in releasing the results of a study that shows when it comes to COVID-19, the way it affects children mirrors the way it affects adults. You've heard in recent memory the fearmongers attempting to persuade the unvaccinated of children to do it for the children's sake. I mean, after all, we're talking about the future. We're talking about individuals that cannot, at least legally, fend for themselves. So who would be against that? Well, the Centers for Disease Control this week reporting that approximately 2/3 of COVID-19 patients between the ages of 12 and 17 were obese. Not overweight, mind you, obese. The ramifications of this should give us clarity moving forward on how we deal with COVID-19 for both adults and children. Did you know in this country, when it comes to our children, from ages 2 to 5 years old, 13.4% of our kids are obese. When it comes to American children, ages 6 to 11, 20.3% are obese. When it comes to America's children, ages 12 to 19, 21.2% are obese. Not overweight. An entire category above overweight. They're obese. And of course, when they contract COVID, the length of stay in the hospital, if it's required, is twice as long as if they were the recommended ideal weight. So conventional wisdom would say, COVID affects children just like adults, meaning you're far more likely to have a rough ride with COVID if you have an existing comorbidity. In this case, not overweight, but obese. And of course, obesity leads to a whole wide gamut of other problems, heart disease, diabetes, etc., etc. So why would we not, as allegedly an intelligent, civilized society, why would we not focus more on getting our kids off the couch, getting adults off the couch, and getting them to drop those pounds? Ironically, we've not always been, pardon the pun, in this shape. We boomers, if you were to ask, Marty, in your elementary school class, how many kids were obese? You're a baby boomer. I know it was 100 years ago, but think back. Marty said 2. In my elementary class, I only remember 1. Ironically, saw a commercial just last night for a new television show. And I forget what the name of the show is, but a parent is surrounded by 3 or 4 kids. And of course, they're all on the phone or on the iPad or video game, whatever. And the parent says, y'all get out of here, go outside and play. And the kids are like, go outside and play? Yeah, get out of here. Y'all get outside, get some fresh air, get some sunshine, go play. Go outside and play. The child looking at her phone looks at the parent and says, I don't have that app. The go outside and play app. I laugh to stop from crying. And here's why. Did you also know right now in this country, our young people ages 17 to 24, prime military service age. Right now in this country, God, it hurts to say this, 71% of America's 17 to 24-year-olds cannot pass the military's physical fitness requirements. I'm going to let that sink in. Roughly 3/4 of 17 to 24-year-olds in this country cannot pass the military's physical fitness requirements. Do you know what that bodes for our national security? Now, lest you start to think, well, Clarence beating up on the kids today. We are all products of our environment. We are products of our life experiences. Adults, English teachers, here it comes in 3, 2, 1. We ain't much better. In this country, right now, adults, 32.5% overweight, 36.5%, another 36% are obese. Our kids are mimicking our eating patterns and our behavior. And while there may be some hidden benefit, I hadn't figured it out yet, but there's got to be one somewhere. There's always a silver lining to every cloud. Maybe there's some benefit to having the fittest, fastest thumbs on the planet. But you're going to need a little bit more to defend yourself if somebody decides they're going to walk in here and take us over. 3/4 of our young people cannot pass the military's physical fitness requirements. We started the show talking about how parents can set a better example for their kids. Getting off the couch would be a great first step. You know, I was thinking just this morning, looking at these numbers, what it would be like across the country, but particularly here in Louisiana, if for whatever reason you found yourself stranded in the woods overnight. Could you eat? Could you start a fire? Could you survive? If you are a Louisianian and you have any doubts in that regard, you should be ashamed. Go outside and play inevitably leads to more than just playing. It's where you get an appreciation for nature. It's where you learn cooperation, respect, teamwork. Going outside and playing is where you realize the benefits of, boy, if I'm ever stranded out here overnight, at least if I can find a ditch or a canal or a bayou, I can get me some crawfish, I can boil them puppies up, I can make it through the night. I can eat clover if I have to. Y'all do realize 3-leaf, 2-leaf clovers are edible. Clarence, I don't eat that. You just ain't gotten hungry enough yet, Captain. That's all that is. Sunflowers, plants, fiddleheads, ferns, all edible. But the only way you find that out is download the app, go outside and play. We are failing miserably with our children, y'all. And sadly, this is occurring on our watch in the, quote, land of milk and honey. You can abuse anything. Y'all do realize, speaking of TikTok and challenges, even water can kill you. Well, yeah, Clarence, you can drown. No, I'm not talking about that. There's a thing called water intoxication. Used to be another TikTok challenge. Let's see who can drink the most water in the shortest amount of time. That will kill you. It's called water intoxication. Your body can't handle it. 3/4 of 17 to 24-year-olds, if there were an unprecedented natural disaster, invasion, whatever, and we needed to mobilize our military with 17 to 24-year-olds to rescue us, protect us, fight for us, rescue, whatever. 3/4 of the 17 to 24-year-olds in this country would not qualify because they can't pass the physical fitness requirements. I don't need to ask you, what does that say about us? It's pretty evident, isn't it? Thought so. When we come back, I want to talk about, quote, this is why we don't listen to you. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You've waited, and now Toyotathon is here at Team Toyota. Every new Toyota is on sale with end-of-year savings. And with our Buy Here, Sell Here program, we'll pay you top dollar for your trade. The selection and savings are right here for you at Team Toyota, I-12 and O'Neill.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis. not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bud Show. You know, as everyday Americans, it's been troubling in recent memory to watch the degradation, the decline of trust in institutions in this country that prior to recent memory was pretty much unshakable. It says a lot about us as America that individuals who are charged with certain responsibilities have managed, many of us would say, to go out of their way to destroy the trust that we've placed in them. Walk up this day to 100 average Americans and ask whatever question you want to come up with regarding COVID-19, and you might come away with 101 answers. Well, Clarence, you only said 100 people. Yeah, one of them might have two opinions. Hence, 101 opinions. But when it comes to most Americans, well, wait a minute, let me back that bus up. When it comes to Americans who have this innate failing that Marty often refers to as, Clarence, you and your common sense, it's troubling. And in many instances, you have to ask yourself, do they not see this as clearly as the rest of us? I'm going to deviate for just a second. Just yesterday, I told you, Joe Biden, in his end-of-the-year address, came out and said that, by golly, one economist, never did name this economist, one economist says we've had the strongest first year of a presidency in the last 50 years. And, of course, his chief of staff, Ron Klain, later on said, well, 2021 wasn't really all that bad. But a Rasmussen poll that comes out days after that shows over half of Americans, that's if you extrapolate the numbers, well over 160 million people say that not only was 2021 horrible, it was the worst freaking year of my life. So you have to ask yourself, can Joe Biden and or Ron Klain not see this as clearly as the rest of us? That's rhetorical. You don't have to answer. We all know the answer. So enter Dr. Anthony Fauci, revealing this week that they are floating the idea of vaccine mandates for domestic air travel. Meaning, you want to fly from Baton Rouge to Newark, vaccine mandate. You want to fly from California to New York, vaccine mandate. You want to fly from Baton Rouge to Houston, vaccine mandate. We're told that it's in the interest of stopping the spread. And yet, this administration has allowed millions of people to sashay their way across our border into this country illegally, didn't test them, and then put them on airplanes, flew them all around the country, didn't tell anybody where they were going. But you want to mandate a vaccine for me, who's here legally, playing by the rules, following the book. You want to mandate it for me, but not for them. Now, as libs typically do, they will make the argument, yeah, but don't you want to stop the spread? Of course, Joe Biden says it's the patriotic thing to do. Is not the patriotic thing to do, is that not also following the oath that you swore to uphold and protect the people of this country from folks here illegally that you then didn't test, put on planes, and flew all around the country? Many of them in the dead of night with no notice to anybody. But now you want me to take your word for it that you're looking out for my best interest. Now that is what that is. You know, they are who they are, they do what they do. But then you have the unmitigated gall to feign ignorance. I just for the life of me don't understand why they don't trust what we tell them. Face plant. You really, truly don't have any idea why we don't trust what you say? Well, you know, first, I can understand we did tell you 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and we're going on how many years now? Of course, you did tell us, well, you need to wear a mask. Then you turn around and, well, see, what happened was we didn't realize the particles were that small they could get through and get in. And, of course, they wouldn't dare stop there. You get the shot, you can't catch it, you can't transmit it, which was a lie. Now, most of you watching right now, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you had reasonably good parents. And as a result, when you lied to your parents, particularly when you didn't have to, and you didn't just lie to your parents once, you did it again and again and again. Now, depending upon the nature of the aforementioned parents, at some point, the minute you opened your mouth, oh, wait a minute, before you opened it, when your lips did this, you were getting ready to speak. You know what they said? Oh, here come another lie. Get ready. Hold on. Let me get the popcorn. Honey, can I refresh your drink? Junior about to lie to us again. Remember that? They didn't have a hard time figuring out that you're about to lie. Why? Based on past experience. So from that point on, it became a matter of you earning their trust again. Trust that has been taken is not easily returned. You got to work at it, son. You got to work at it. Lie to your coworker 5 times today and watch how they look at you differently tomorrow. Particularly if you're in a management position. It's easy to destroy it. It's hard as the dickens to get it back. Which is why it's just so easy. Amy just went, woohoo, and you're right. It's just so much easier not to go down that road. You know, our fascination in this country with being right, being correct, is starting to hurt us. Meaning, we are so hung up on being right that we now forget none of us know it all. The older you get in life, young people, the more you will start to realize, I can respect somebody that says, I don't know. So-and-so, yeah, in the back, ABC News. Can you tell us, fill in the blank here? No, ma'am, I can't. I don't know. But I'm going to find out. I can respect that. But when you lie to me to my face and then call me all sorts of ugly names because I won't swallow that lie, Houston, we got a problem. Or in this case, Dr. Fauci, that's why we don't trust what you say. And at the end of the day, if I can't trust what you say, I ain't got much use for you, Captain. Me and the rest of America. Just saying. Just saying. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
The Post on Church Point Road in Gonzales would like to invite everyone to their newly renovated events hall, a beautiful 9,600 square foot facility that features a 5,500 square foot main hall and a separate 600 square foot conference room. Renters have access to our huge kitchen, large stage, tables, chairs, bar, and covered outdoor cooking. So plan your next wedding, party, conference, and more at The Post on Church Point Road, Gonzales.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, there's an old saying in life, and I'll paraphrase it. Just keep living. If you think things are sedentary, concrete, constructed a certain way, just keep living. You may well find out different as time goes by. There are certain institutions in this country that, because they have an understanding of the parameters that they operate in, they understand the parameters so they know how to navigate their way through profitably. Now, as we all know, despite what the woke crowd will tell you, the purpose of going into business is to make money. You don't make a profit, you go out of business, you can't provide jobs, can't achieve your dreams, etc., etc. Little Caesars, pizza, $5. Everybody knows about it. Whether you like it or not is up to you, but $5, pizza, done deal. It's been that way for 27 years. Economy goes up, pizza, $5. Economy goes down, pizza, $5. For 27 years, they've been able to navigate their way through the ups and downs of the economy. And no matter what, $5, pizza. Pretty much a guarantee. Enter the Biden-Harris administration. $5, gone. No more. Joe Biden says, well, it's, because of the greed of meat packers, the pepperoni's gone up so much. They can't do it anymore. Okay, so I guess that means Dollar Tree, that for all those years sold everything for $1 until Joe Biden came along. Guess they were greedy too. You know what's interesting? The same meat packers, when Donald Trump was in office, they weren't greedy. But apparently now, because the Democrat is in the White House, they can afford to get greedy. Interesting. Gas stations. Seen the price at the pump? All of a sudden, apparently, they've gotten real greedy. Used cars. Just this week announced the average price of a used car in America, $29,000. Greed, I tell you, just pure unadulterated greed. Hotel rooms, car rentals, you name it. They're all just a bunch of greedy, but they weren't that way just 12 months ago. I guess next we will have a congressional investigation into all of this. You know, it's funny how things come all the way back full circle sometimes. Remember the liberals castigating Donald Trump and conservatives for their economic policies? Simple question. Were you better off then, or are you better off now? Again, that's rhetorical. You don't have to answer. We already know. So, as is typically the case, they are now in full panic mode. Have you noticed? Even CNN now, they're drawing up lists of potential candidates for the Democrat Party in the next election. But wait, Joe Biden has already said he's running again. Funny how that works, isn't it? Sadly, this inflation, speaking of people lying to your face, that we were told is transitory, it's going to be here a while, y'all. Talk about irony of ironies. So is Joe. We have 3 more years of this crap. Unless, that is, you send a message to these folks. Now, I don't know, maybe you, big money baller, doesn't bother you what you paying at the pump. Doesn't bother you the increase in your grocery bill. Doesn't bother you that you can no longer get a used car at a price you can afford. Maybe it doesn't bother you that every freaking thing in your life now costs you more. Personally, I think you deserve better. But that's just me. Of course, now, the old saying is, if you want it, you got to go get it. I'm going to go church on y'all for just a second. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to please reconsider your voting habits, particularly if you are a person of color. Because you do realize, right, who's hurt the most by the Democrats' policies? Ding, 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 we got us a winner. Black folk. Who's hurt the most by crime? Oh, black people. Who's hurt the most by inflation? Oh, black and poor people. Who's hurt the most? And the list goes on and on and on. And yet, you will still consider voting Democrat. Now, you know, at some point, even the most patient among us, regardless of the situation, when we reach a certain point, we throw our hands up and say, you know what, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. But there's too much at stake here, y'all. We are talking about the future of what is arguably the greatest experiment in the history of our species. Say what you will. America's a great country. Say what you will. People will still put their lives in their hands to come here. We are still that shining beacon upon the hill. We've got an obligation, guys and girls. Most of us, we didn't have to do a bleeping thing to be the beneficiary of the freedoms and liberties that somebody else's life paid for. Most of us get to enjoy things that are the envy of the entire planet and didn't have to do a freaking thing to benefit from it. There's an obligation, y'all. I'm not telling you to run out and join the military, because like we said earlier, 71% of you 17 to 24-year-olds, you can't pass the fitness test anyway. What I am telling you is that our kids deserve us fighting to preserve the freedoms and the liberties that we inherited. If you don't, the obvious, they'll go away. And if they don't, you should be ashamed to call yourself an American. It is something that is so freely given to all who will come to claim it. Takes a hell of a lot more to keep it, though, y'all. And the only way that happens is if we let the folks, quote, in charge know that we're watching, we're sick of it, we're fed up, and we're going to take it out on them in the voting booth. Let me be sure to throw that in there. Anything less, my friends, it's un-American, pure and simple. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. It is the home of old school barbecue. You never know who you're going to see when you walk through the door. Kevin G., Kevin Gallagher, Uncle Roy, Roy Fletcher, everybody's favorite uncle, here to produce their podcast today. And, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, yours truly is here as well. Oh, Betsy Barnes, Dr. K. Solar, they record their show here as well, Rock It Right. Come on by. We'd love to see you. That being said, my time's up, y'all, and I got to go. But this day, maybe more so than any other, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we ain't perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. See you tomorrow. God bless.